Shabbos.
Right. Although Rahman I ended up with a hoarse voice throughout Shabbos. It was the croakiest drasha of my life. So Baruch Hashem, you get to appreciate when HaKadosh Baruch Hu keeps us healthy the rest of the time.
Yeah, 100%. You need it, man. You need the full strength.
That's it. And by you, what's happening? All's good?
Everything's great. Thank God, A lot of good things. Wish there's time for more good things, but we're trying. Every step of the way is good.
Good. All right, let's do this.
Are we live? We good?
We are live. Yes, I think we are.
Great. Super.
All right. So we got up to Zaman Hashem Chasidov.
Yep.
I think, right?
1 second. No. I think we're actually up to 1 second. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So we're
talking about Sha'ol and the bar.
Yes.
Right. The difference between Sha'ol and bar. Sha'ol being where life is sapped away from you, but you still know what's happening, and bar, which is the whole thing is verfallen. The whole thing is falling apart. David HaMelech says HaKadosh Baruch Hu is pulling out from both of those places.
Yep.
All right.
Now weiter. So here we go.
Yeah.
So the next pasuk in Mizmor Shir Chanukah Bayis David reads, Zamru LaHashem Chasidos, sing to Hashem, His pious ones, and thank Him for the remembrance of, or the memory of His holiness. Hard to understand what that means. Rav Kook explains, HaChasidus, what does it mean? Chasidov, his pious ones. HaChasidus, Yesodo Ahavas Chesed. Its basis is loving kindness. She'ifa, it is a desire. Ha'avtacha ha'muchletes, of great, or absolute promise, or trust.
So I've got in my edition here, She'ifas ha'hatava ha'muchletes.
Oh yeah, you're right. Thank you. Ha'hatava ha'muchletes, the greatest good, absolute good, which is being given. When that is formed in the heart, when that's so to speak, bubbles over in the heart, until it is ingrained in the soul, in the nature of the soul. Miyad miskale or hachayim shel chesed Hashem nifla. It expresses itself in the light of Hashem, which is the tremendous light of Hashem. And Hashema mismalahi zimras ka. And then the soul is filled with the song of Hashem, zimras olamim, the song of eternity, lemana mikol chesh baramida, above any measure or any logic, lemana mikol regesh hoda, above even the emotions of thanksgiving. She ha'toichen shel ha'karas ha'toiv machriach la'akir mitzad mekabel ha'tova el ha'nosein. That really, it's the contents of the recognition force the one who's receiving the goods to towards the thankfulness towards the giver. Hamashpia Oisa Barov Chasto is giving with this great goodness. So it seems to be that there's times in life that with this idea of Chasidov, the idea of Zamru LaHashem Chasidov, is this wanting to just be thankful for the good one experiences. What's sort of this unstoppable force in one's soul to express thanksgiving for what was done to the person.
I think what's really interesting here is I feel like if one would challenge a person, is this you, right? Meaning he starts off with she'ifas ha'tava ha'muchletes, is a desire for like total goodness. So you ask somebody like, do you want things to be great? Do you want like life to be amazing? So everybody would be like, yeah, totally. And then he says, but if that's true, if you really want life to be good, until you want to be part of this process of being good, of doing good, that the whole world should be good. So that's when the Or HaChaim Shel Chesed Hashem HaNifla is revealed. And the soul is filled with a song of good. You see this sometimes with people, is that like you have a conversation with somebody, you're like, I'll tell you how it could be good. And then they say to you, yeah, you want it to be good? Yeah, I want it to be good. What you need to do in order to make it good is you got to call up this person and apologize to them. And then what I want you to do, you want it to be good. And then what you should really do is take a little bit of time, spend some time with that person. And then you'll figure out it'll be good. And they go, no, I don't want to do that. Why not? It'll be good. Yeah, it's not going to be good like that. People have this strange, like, I want it to be good, but like, I don't want to invest in that good necessarily. Like, if you can like make problems go away, that's fine.
Right, I like to have a dividend. I'll take the profits.
So what?
I'll get the dividends when they come out.
Right, but like that like a vote of like I want to be a good person and do good things. A lot of people are like very standoffish on that. They want the world to be good. That's true, but not necessarily to be that person that's mashpia tov, like ad shehin zbas b'teva hanefesh, till it's ingrained in who they are. That like I'm a person that only wants to do good things. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, I want things to be good. It's just like give me a discount on like how much I have to do good in order to get there. So he says, once this becomes like programmed in, this is who you are, this is what you do, this is how you live. At that point in time, yeah, then you feel it coming from Hashem as well. Mm-hmm. And that's where the Vahodah was I mean, at least with the Hodah, which is going to be his next step, is like Zomer Hashem Chasidov, is that it sings to Hashem. And then comes the Hodah.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. So it's in a sense, it's more than just like recognizing good. It's kind of collaborating with the good,
right? Which a lot of that has been David Melch's theme. This whole Zemer.
Yes, let me join your mission, God. Let me. So I want to be part of the goodness, like you're saying. It's a very profound point. It's a very point. Rav Sachs points out in morality that actually the word happiness up till the 1700s was primarily associated with moral good. Meaning happiness was the product of moral good. Today, it's very much disconnected from that. It became what he called uncoupled from that, where happiness is a description of sort of living without friction, you know, and that's a very different experience. And that's a hedonistic, essentially emotionally hedonistic experience. So what we're talking about is let me be part of the solution, like you're saying. What can I do to increase what you're doing on this earth?
Right. I want to experience your good, and to do that, I have to buy in.
Right. That's what was confusing when I was reading this the first time. It talks about the hatava of Hashem, but it talks about you're doing the good as well. And so that's actually the point: is that you want to be part of that. It's Hashem hatava, and therefore yours as well. Brilliant. Now
let's see.
Here's a however though. Through this elevation, this we'll call musical elevation, milas milas heimis haifa ora chesed miskale betoich betoranaf gam be'es hashkia shel shemesh hara nishmatis. So what does that mean? Amar mitoich hisalus hazimra sis milas. What's that word? Heimis.
Hamis, Hamayis, Hamacha.
So even when the soul sets, it's still this song continues. Okay, let's just get the flow. Not just the actual the essence of the kindness, not just the kindness which doesn't really relate to the recipients, המחפש את כל משהו נוגע למידסי הפרטית, זהו יסוד ההודאה. תודה קודשים קלים, ועוד לזכר קודשי. Okay.
So let's work this through.
This is very intense, yeah. Okay.
Because I think he's working on multiple metaphors here.
Yes.
Through the upgrading of the Zimra, Meneas hamayas hafayas are a chesed.
What's that?
Meneas hamayas hafas are a chesed. Hold on a second here.
Interesting.
Yeah, what do
Okay.
you got?
There's a lot of things there. I don't know what Mayas is. I think I just a few. I think I get a few of the pieces together here. So what he's trying to say is like this: is that let's say the mashpia is no longer, so to speak, imminently available, right? So you're not. It's not as clear that the mashpia is giving. There's the one who's influencing is giving all this good. The chesed can still be remembered in what we'll call individualistic, subjective manner by the ones receiving it. So it sounds like at the beginning, the first phrase of our pasuk was Zamru Hashem Chasidov. We will sing to Hashem Chasidov. Chasidov is a natural experience of sort of like attaching oneself to this unbelievable, infinite flow of energy. But let's say when the infinite flow of energy is not available right now, right? So it's you're not getting it at this point in time, even those who received in the past still are able to remember the Zeicher Kotra. They remember their personal we'll call direct relationship to the Mashpia, to this energy flow, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And this is when that's when Hoidah, Thanksgiving, takes place. And so
I'll tell you what I think. That the word Meneas hamayas is the truth of the reality of, like we have in Hatikva. Nefesh Yehudi Homiyah.
Homia. Okay, so that's all that Homia is like moaning, groaning.
Nefesh Yehudi Homiyah is the truth of the Jewish soul, or the yearning of the Jewish soul,
right.
And what it's striving for.
So just like the example at the end, the metaphor at the end, Toida Kochim Kalim. That's such an interesting perspective. What he's saying is that because the last part of this pasuk is not a zamru, the verb is not zamru, it's hoidu, it's thanking.
Right.
Zamru is song. Song is sort of this expression of like sort of attaching oneself to the infinite. Hoidu is kochim kalim. It's a lower form of holiness when it comes to thankfulness, but thankfulness is much more personal.
Right.
And that's where, so to speak, we have our space to remember and to relate to those experiences that were much more profound.
It's also because the world of Toda is of Kachim Kalim, specifically the din is that it's Nechal Abalim. Is that
right?
You and me
exactly that, right? So as opposed to sort of this bigger picture of this like vast song which is naturally erupting in somebody who's touched by this energy, no, it's very specific and very private, actually.
Right, meaning a person feels that Zamar Hashem Chasidav, I want to be part of this grand vision of your world, but V'hodad L'Zecher Kodsho, there's, even though I'm not feeling that all the time, I don't feel part and parcel of this great world of yours, because some of the other achayim, we are in the thickness of materialism. We have tax to pay and garbage to collect, and and diapers to change. Like there's a lot of that. Gratitude is found at the root of looking for that zecher to it. It's like you don't have to feel elation. You don't have to feel like the whole world resonating with the beauty of Hashem's promise while changing a diaper.
It doesn't happen. Yeah, it's probably less real and less constant to experience that the whole time. So
but it's possible to feel gratitude then.
Gratitude is right, exactly.
That's a chiddush, right?
That is a beautiful.
That's gorgeous.
That's a beautiful idea, and it makes so much sense because sometimes I think people think if I'm not like sort of singing, God, there's like what is there to say? It's like no, you can still say appreciation. I like to
The
just
truth is, like when you, I don't want to say anything too mean, especially online, but sometimes you meet somebody that like Taka is like singing, like whistling as they change the diaper after getting like 0 hours of sleep. You're skeptical of them. That's what I'm saying. You look at the guy, you're like, something's a little off with that guy. Like, I understand you're like very holy, but like there's like a little like hold up a
right.
second, what's going on
No,
here?
little too merry.
Right, like what's going on there? Where do I get some of that stuff? But like when somebody like there are times that like you're stuck in with like the nitty gritties of life that are not necessarily so musical. They're
Yes.
not. Like it's not like an explosion of an expression of love of God, but there's still room for gratitude there, and that
That's
and in that is the zecher culture.
beautiful. It's such an important rule in life. I just, it's interesting. I was speaking to somebody, a kid in our shul who's involved in a particular app. Well, no, like it's a company with basically the company works with doctors to get good ratings. So what's the problem? The problem isn't with doctors, rabbis, shuls, anything, any human being, is that people only really reach out to complain.
Right,
It's just the way people only the voice you only hear is complaining. There are a few wonderful people, but generally speaking, people like to complain all day long. Same with the doctors. If you records, if you offices. So if you look at the typical review online, the typical review is, "I had to wait and it was terrible, and they treated me like." That was because that was the person I said. The 97% of the other people who had a great experience or a regular experience walked in, walked out. They didn't feel the need to go and tell it. So this company works with trying to sort of captivate positive emotion and allowing people who feel that they had a good experience to also write about it because that's not natural. And I was
right,
thinking to myself, like, it's so important to just be thankful, just be like a mensch, to be thankful for things. And it's such an important thing. And not when you're singing, you don't have to sing. Just say thank you.
right. That's why, like, if you look at reviews in general, there's only two kinds of reviews. There's 1 star, which are from people, and 5 stars, which are from like paid bots. There's nothing in between. Nothing in between, right? It's
Yeah,
if you want to get a
unfortunately.
product that's like a solid 3 stars, like there isn't.
Yeah, I have to tell you, I feel this all the time. So, like, I'm sure you have this experience as well. You'll come out of like a Yom Tov, you'll throw out a 3-day Yom Tov, crazy Shabbos. You speak like 17 different times, whatever it is, and you put your heart and soul into it, and you're like mamish a shmata at the end. You come out, and you just want somebody to say, Rabbi, that was so nice. That was, and I have to tell you, there are some very special neshamas. There's one or two who do
There's a
reach
lot
out.
of
But
wonderful
generally
people.
speaking, it's very quiet, right? The people, it's like cooking Shabbos meals. You cook Shabbos meals, everybody eats them. They say they digest and carry on. You have to keep cooking. So it's the same thing in our industry. So I try to do it. I try to make a point to reach out to those people who need to be thanked, the chazanim, the balei tefillah, the gabayim, just to say thank you because there's so many people. It's so easy to find somebody to say thank you to
Right.
channel that energy to thanks. It doesn't require singing. Just
That's
thank you.
there's. I remember Stav speaking about this a few times when we were in Kerem Yavne, that the the Rambam Paskin says that La'asid Lava, the only personal karbanis that will be the carbon taida.
Hmm.
That's La'asid Lava. There's only going to be carbon taida, which is fascinating because all the other private karbanis, a korban chatas and a korban asham and a korban and korban ola, personal korban ola, all come as a result of things that you messed up in, right? Like he did this avera, did that avera, the korban ola, I thought something wrong. It's a hirura avera. So for all of that, there's a kapara by bringing a korban. Korban taida is the only korban that a person brings that is not meira on a chisaron. It's not about something lacking in themselves. And one of the things that we struggle with so much is to be able to say thank you without it being diminishing to me.
Right.
Right? People feel like if I give you gratitude, if I say
I
thank
owe
you to
you. I
you,
need you.
it means that there's something wrong with me. Like I couldn't have done it myself.
Mhm.
And it's very much not true. Like you can say thank you. You can display gratitude even though things are perfect and even though things are not perfect.
Mhm, mhm.
Like gratitude is separate from all of that. It's distinct from all of that. And very often we feel like I can't be grateful until everything's perfect, or like I'm willing to be vulnerable. It's not like that. Like you can just say "Shkach," like I thank you. It's
true.
it's something that everything comes full circle. Like all of the productivity gurus and all of the blogs and starting the day with gratitude. Well, I mean, of course, we spent a long time learning Modeh last year. It all begins with gratitude. The whole thing ends with gratitude. But I think what's so gorgeous about the Chiddush here is that gratitude is a feeling that you can have even when life is not filled with fairy tale like birds chirping by the windows. Right? It's like you can still give a shkoyach.
That's the question.
Thank you. That's still great. Like it's
beautiful. You may not feel like you're the chassid of. You may not
Right.
feel like the Zmira, but you can still be hodl zeicha kontra.
Right. That's it. That's cool.
Good stuff. Okay, let's go for it. Let's just try to get in one more.
Let's see. Kirega Bapai. Yeah. So this is now like a massive non sequitur.
Oh yes.
Kirega Bapai. He's got a moment of anger. Chaim b'rtzona, but life is his desire. So what are we talking about? Like Hashem's anger here.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, "Ha'ashkava ha'klolis al chesed Hashem hamale olam telamdenu." God's overwhelming kindness for the entirety of the world educates us. That the world is tending to goodness. That is the foundational principle of existence, is goodness. Which today's day and age is a chiddush all by itself.
That's pretty amazing to say. I mean,
the world is good. The world is good. That is the beyond string theory and subatomic particles is good. It's good. Like everything beyond that is all good. So it says, what happens if we find not good? What happens if we find the opposite? He says, it's ha'af v'hazam, anger and rage. Shemizgala ba'alam, as it reveals in the world. He says, Harei hu le'umas ha'tayv ha'klali davar arai, yotzi min ha'klal. It is impermanent. It's an exception. Uba rak kedei levasas ha'sotayv. It's just coming to provide a foundation for the good. La'amikoi u'la'archivoi, to deepen it and to broaden it. Ki ein shum safek. There is no doubt in the world. Sha'megama ha'klalis miskale ba'yesod ha'teichel ha'kavua b'shitfoi ha'tediri malei olam kula. There is no doubt that which is truly foundational in the world is that which is permanent and is encompassing, flooding the world all the time. And when we check the entirety of the world and all of existence, we find that the world is filled with life. We see that really what Hashem wants is life. The foundational aspect of Hashem's engagement and leadership of this world and reality as a whole. It says, Va'af hurak rega. Anger is a tip-tipa. Shotef v'cholev. It washes away and it disappears. Over is battle. It's as I say in Yiddish, Iber battle, right? It's over is battle. It's gone. Kedei lahavik al yoda yoser yisod hachaim, and its only purpose is to deepen the foundation of life. V'ha'avaya b'malei tova, and all of existence with the fullness of its good. Ki rega ba'pai chaim mirtzana, because there is just a moment in anger, chaim mirtzana, but the big picture is life.
Wow.
That's huge.
That's a brilliant idea. If human beings get very fixated in the rega,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like we capture on those regas, and it's like it's bad, it's terrible. God, how could this be? And they're often very good questions, and those moments are very painful. But what he's saying is Chaim B'Ritzonah is that the trend, the direction of this world is life. Is
right.
Good.
Well, I mean, although what this requires, and like devastatingly so, is perspective.
Yes.
Which when you are in that rega is so incredibly difficult to achieve.
Right. I was just going to add an interesting thing we came across just when we were learning NIL, like a year ago or so. So Rav Kook on his Pirush on the Gemara talks about the rega, chavi kimat rega, the anger of Hashem, and that Bilam was trying to capitalize on. So he says, so Rav Kook says, like, what kind of game is this? Like, like you press the button at the right time. So he said that Chavi Kimat Rega is reflective of humans' capacity to do evil.
Right.
Meaning, and the Rambam says already more Nevuchim, most evil in the world is human created. There's one part which is a consequence of natural phenomena, and then the other two sections are what human beings do to each other and what human beings do to themselves, and the last one being the biggest category, the Rambam says more Nevuchim. So Chavi Kimat Rega actually is a reflection on the amount that human beings are choosing to exercise their free will for a negative space. So Hashem is saying what Bilam was trying to do is he was trying to find in Israel the capacity of bad people. That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to capitalize on them, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu allowed them to be so perfect that they were impervious to that attack. So I think it's the same kind of thing over here, is that there's rega ba'apah, this moment, this momentary of bad, which we see in the world. There's a lot of bad in the world, but the good whitewashes it in terms of the amount of good sentiment, even though it's not as loud and is not as worthy of the front page of the newspaper. It's good. It's there.
I think we could add to that, and there's 2 days in that Tosfos in the Gemara in the Gemara in Brachos that the Gemara wants to know how could it be that Bilam was planning on cursing the Jewish people. So
Time was starting, right?
So either he was going to say Kolim, finish them up, or that he was going to carry on within that moment. He was going to extend that moment. So it's interesting. On that second day in Tosfos, the Eretz Tzvi, the Kosher Glover, explains that that's how the Yid Hakadosh of Shischa was matter to start davening mincha just before the shkia, and then be marich afterwards. Right, from that second day in Tosfos, you can start in the moment and then be mamshich that moment. But with what you were saying now from Rav Kook and Anaya, and it's mamish the same idea over and over again here, is that in a chalami, there is a glitch, or it's not a glitch, it's a feature. It's a feature of the system that you can experience something that's not good. It's possible to experience that. And that is there to give greater appreciation of that which is good. But it's also possible to live in that rega forever, to extend it. That's what Bilam was trying to do.
Right. Live it sort of, and that becomes your prism of reality.
Right. You can have that.
Bad. People are just bad. Like human beings are terrible. It's like,
right. Nobody's saying that bad things don't happen.
No.
The question is, where do you live after that moment is gone?
Right.
Have you left that moment, or are you still in that moment?
Very good. Excellent. That reading of that Tosfos like that is just a profound perspective. It's a choice you have to make, and Bilam was making the choice to live life with that view. That view.
Right. Meaning that's what it means to be the most powerful, like, cursing force in the world, is to be able to, that is the biggest klala that exists in humanity, is when people say something bad happened, say no, live in that evil, live in that negativity, live in that feeling, that it's spread to your wife and your children and your family and your friends and your community, and burn the world down because something bad happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, but just know that chiyus is just outside of that reg.
Right. I don't think he means that if you leave humanity on an island, they'll turn into great altruistic folks. It's going to be the Lord of the Flies. I think what he means to say is that by human beings working, we're getting to a better place. By the world is trending to a better place, even though there are many, many, many corrupt individuals.
Right. But lichara, those are the people that are choosing to live in the rega.
Yes. Unfortunately, wow. A lot of important Torah today.
Oof.
Yeah. Got to absorb.
No, Rav Yaakov, it's always great to see you, Tzadik.
A pleasure.
Wish we could go weiter. And we will next week.
This is the best way to start the week. Really, Ashreichem for everybody listening, and pleasure to see you.
Enjoy. We'll see you later.
Okay.